Good. How about
Man, how's your next one?
Sorry, you broke up there for a second.
Oh,
I
I
just
just
asked,
asked, how's your day going?
Good. Good. Just got home from work from the office, so can't
Very nice.
complain. Hopefully you had a
How'd you
good
do
day
today?
too. I did really, really well, but honestly, I over leveraged a little bit, so I was lucky the market bailed me out.
Whew.
Ooh, well,
It's
it's
always a
always a positive,
right?
right?
Yeah, it is a
You needed
positive, but
something right.
yeah, well, I stuck it out. I think that's what I did right.
How
How about you, Captain? How'd your day go?
Eh, I didn't do much because I had a big math test today, so I just kind of stayed away from the market. But that seemed to work in my favor.
Gotcha.
I did enter some longer position sizes nearing the end of the day, some longer um, positions for like bigger time frames, so not so much day trades, but kind of bought into a couple things towards the end of the day. But other than that, not much.
Yeah, today was definitely a good day to start picking up some long stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Been a while since I've been able to say that confidently. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm still looking. I really didn't like build that big of a position. I think we can drop to. I would say I was looking at. I don't know if you. I was looking at like around on SPY like 410. Before I really put more like I kind of added. I want to say probably maybe a fourth of the longer positions I want to put in, and then 410 is kind of where I'd add the bulk of them.
Dude, that's you're $1 away basically, $2 away. You know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we still see a little bit lower, but yeah, today was a great day to start, and I was buying a good amount of stuff as well.
Right.
Are these leaps or you're actually buying equity?
Captain?
Me?
Yeah, exactly.
Me?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, both of you, I guess.
Yeah, so my strategy, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm 23 years old. I've got lots of time, so I'm not stressed about this downside, and I'll be adding the whole way down. So you can see my chart, right? All these gray zones represent points of interest where I believe price will either struggle or will even bounce, right? And so
Hey,
those
Rock,
are.
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm not streaming yet. Shit,
Yeah.
my bad.
No problem.
There we go. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no problem. But
All right.
you're making me feel old at 23. Gee.
All right. Can you guys see the stream all right? There we go. Okay, so all these gray zones, right? This one that we're at right now, this is an area where I believe buyers are going to be present, and it's going to be more of a fight, right? So I could definitely see us spending some time here, and either defending it for a week or two before breaking lower, or bouncing, right? Or this is where buyers are going to show up. So today, as we dipped into this zone, I began buying equity, right? And so, this could very well be the bottom. I personally don't believe so. I think there's still more downside to come, but this is the first spot where I was like, okay, I feel comfortable putting more risk on longs at this point. So yeah, I was buying some more shares of SPY and QQQ. I added to my SPXX and QQQX positions as well. I even trimmed some of my long-term shorts, right? The position that I've been bitching about for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 months, it's finally paying off. And so I was able to trim that position today because we dipped into this zone. The next big spot I've got marked is just under 4,000 here on ES from about 396 to 4,000. This is the next spot where I believe, thanks to our volume taper, where buyers would be extremely present and would look to defend this spot. So we've hit this spot again. Looking more macro, this is where I think, if you're putting risk on, that's that's more than fine. You picked a great spot. And I think it's extremely confident as well. But, looking bigger picture, it's hard to say how everything's gonna unravel. I personally think we've got a lot more downside before, it makes sense to go really heavy in longs. But at this point, this is a great spot. And so like I mentioned, I'll be buying the whole way down. I'm not, there's no one spot where I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm fully long and only long here. That would have to be about 3,800 for me to be like, okay, I think upside makes much more sense here. But yeah, that's where I'm at. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more I really want to say on that before I just start rambling.
Don't start rambling.
Huh?
Done? Or did I get here late?
No, what's up, Cobain?
Going on?
Nothing much. We just started the session. We're talking about these guys all seem to have picked up some long positions today, whether it's swings with time or buying some equity.
If you're going long, just make sure that you got the pockets to do it, because it's probably not just going to be off of today.
Hey, I bought some longs today too. So
Yeah, me too. Probably have to buy more next week.
But anyways, got a good amount of people here. Do you guys want to check anything out? Again, you guys are more than welcome to just ask general questions. We don't have to look at charts, but anything you guys are looking at specifically? Interesting.
Let's see.
A name I've been keeping a lot of attention on recently is this guy, SMCI. This one's super interesting. So if we want to cut it off to this initial pop, it jumped with NVIDIA. When NVIDIA had that earnings, they juiced up as well. So we'll cut this off at that date at 0525. That back on daily, boom. So you can clearly see this is where the bulk of the action is taking place between about 245 and 285. We've had a few visits outside the range, and we're at the bottom now. So this is one where I think risk to reward definitely favors longs coming into this dip zone. This name moves a lot, and options are extremely liquid. And another member recently just put me on this name a little while ago. It's another semiconductor name. But it trades super clean. It's got great volume on the contracts, pretty tight spreads, and it moves like crazy. This thing's got an ADR of close to $15. So I'm definitely going to be looking to, take more advantage of this guy here. And if we can get some clean setups, you can bet your ass we'll be throwing some plan plays out on it.
Can we see a weekly?
A weekly?
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is that?
Yeah.
What's that, like July low?
July low? Down here?
Yeah. 213, 214.
Yeah, 215-ish.
Okay, cool.
So, but yeah, I was just mentioning El Sucio over the last like over the last 3 or 4 charting sessions, he's brought this up and been like, hey, what are we doing with it? And I've given him some levels to trade off of. But it's been a ton of fun. Let me cut this time frame off again so you can really see the point of control and the levels, why I've got the zone marked off. But it moves like crazy, and the liquidity is spectacular. Like the options volume is super nice. Like for Lottos tomorrow, if this thing's, like we just said, if market's going to give us a little sympathy relief rally tomorrow, this thing, if it can hold this 240 area, I think it can easily work its way back into like 250 to 255. And with same day contracts, say this thing gets to 255, we're talking $1 to $5 on these contracts of pure intrinsic value, right? So like I definitely want to start keeping an eye on SMCI more. It seems like one of the best trading vehicles at the moment, considering everything is moving a lot slower now. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, with volatility high right now, I mean, everything's moving more than it naturally does. But if you look back over the last year, names that used to be super fun to trade are moving a lot slower, right? Like, think about how often we used to trade names like Shopify and Tesla. Tesla, Tesla, I'm gonna be honest, Tesla's been kind of boring the past year to trade, and to me at least. I remember when that thing used to move like $10 a day. Now you're lucky if you can squeeze 4 or 5 out of it.
Right.
Sorry, what chart am I seeing here?
Yeah, I was just mentioning you. I was just talking about you. How you've been bringing this thing up the last few sessions, and I was letting these guys know that it's got a great ADR. It's super volatile, and it's got super liquid contracts. And so I was letting these guys know how good of a trading vehicle I think this thing is, and how if it can form some quality setups, you're gonna definitely start seeing it in my plan plays.
Does it have earnings
That's
coming up?
awesome, man.
Yeah,
It's got earnings next week.
Cool.
The first is Wednesday, I think. And they report after close on Wednesday.
But
But it's super fun. And like I said, if you're just playing like a macro look on it, maybe not like
an
an immediate reaction day trade. If you are willing to swing it, I like it right here. I like it right where it's at. It's dipping right under the taper. Yeah, for longs. It dipped right under the key shelf, right? So I've got the zone marked out from where the main volume shelf is, from 85 down to about 45. And you can see it's bounced under the shelf twice now, and you're dipping right into that same zone. And guess what? A week before earnings. So I think next week the contracts probably already pumped. Yeah, they're insane. Never mind. Never mind.
That's strange. Go to like November 17th.
2
2 weeks after, still crazy.
Ew.
It looks like we'll have to wait
Bro,
until
this thing is
after
not
to
good to
get.
trade.
Huh?
Okay, this thing is good to trade on like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
No, this is because of
weekly.
earnings, my guy. This is because of earnings.
It seems
Like-
extreme.
It seems extreme because people are expecting massive moves.
Typically, what you see is that check the 10th, because usually the week of earnings gets IV pumped to the premium to be equal to the week after.
It moved like $80 though in like 2 weeks, so I understand
Yeah,
they're gonna
that's
No,
why
it's
those
like that
contracts
was
no,
like
really
that,
good.
guy.
It's just crazy that
Actually, I gotta say,
2,500.
as someone who's been playing this regularly for a good couple months now, probably at least once a week, they're always fucked. I mean, the earnings juice them, but buying any time, it's like trying to buy time on Nvidia, because
It's like trading Amazon pre-split.
Okay.
Do you remember when Amazon
So you
was a
stick to weekly?
$2,000 stock?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
so
do.
I mean, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
stick
it's
to weekly.
because-
It's just so expensive buying any time.
Okay. That makes
What
sense.
did Amazon do? A 20 to 1 split?
Yeah.
So
think about
think about this. Let's look at Amazon contracts, right? Amazon, right? For next week's contracts, let's say you're getting a dollar move. This $1 move used to be a $20 move of intrinsic value. These contracts would be about 20 times as expensive. That's how it used to be. When you
Yeah, no, I
get a
remember.
name that moves, when you get a name that moves that much intrinsically, yeah, contracts are going to be pricey.
And it
makes sense. But like I'm looking at this thing for tomorrow. If they can hold 240 and maybe market sees a little bit of juice, I think these 250s or maybe even these 245s can be a super clean lotto play.
Okay. The weeklies definitely are making more sense to me.
Yeah, weeklies
Yeah, I don't
on this thing are fun.
outside the current week. I always stick in the current week on this one. The premium
Those
insane
250s have
any
good
further out.
volume too.
Yeah, the 250s had good volume,
Can we
and so
see
did
the
the.
intraday for this today?
Yeah, it's super liquid, dude. It moves just fine.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely I've heard El Sucio mention it plenty of times too. Just never checked it out.
No, I
Well,
mean, look at this.
The first opening candle was from 53 down to 50. It's giving you $3 candles, man. You know, on the regular. Here's another one from 43 down to 40. You know, this thing moves a lot, and this is liquid. This is plenty liquid.
You don't want to try to hit it
I will.
tomorrow.
I will say, guys, the spreads aren't great. The spreads can be
Yeah.
fairly wide.
Those
especially when
those
it's
spreads
there
were
just to save
$30. The spread was like 80 to 110 on those 250s. So not the greatest, but that's probably the best option for spread on that chain because the other shit was like a fucking 40% spread.
Okay, but you catch one candle. One candle gives you
No, I know,
$3,
bro.
and then
You know,
boom.
on Fridays, I the spreads on the shit that I trade, all those slow stocks, they're very fucking wide. So I feel you.
Yeah. But I'll have my eyes on this one with you tomorrow, Sucio. I think we might end up sending a little play on this
Give
for
us some
longs.
levels. Give us some levels, Waxy.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Let me cut this off again. I think just strength over. It's a little bit tough because we're under that. You know.
Right. The shelf.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough because we're under the shelf. But if they can just like, okay, my thing is the best entry was just today when you swooped by these lows. Like if you could have snagged it, anything under 240 looked good. But now you just needed to reclaim this 243 area and get back into the shelf. Like it's crystal clear where the taper is. You know, there's no confusion here, right? Like everything under 240 is illiquid, and everything above 243 is where it cuts off. Like it's very clear this is your line in the sand, 243. You know, you've gotten a bunch of reactions here. Like they traded it heavy right here as a floor when they rebounded. They retested it once. They defended it here. Big bounce here. You know, like it's definitely 243. So if this thing can reclaim 243 with some strength, I'd probably be targeting. Honestly, the first target's like 250. Like
I agree.
Yeah,
I like
your
the
first
way
target is high.
it's
All the way at 250, and then maybe you can get an overshot into this like 255 area.
That looks good. Yeah, that like end of the day on it looks decent. If the open can be strong tomorrow, it could go for like a reversal into some highs from yesterday. Or from today, sorry.
Yeah, what was
'Cause
the
it's
high
still
today?
kind of-
53, 55-ish. Yeah, it looks solid. I think
That could be a good Friday play then.
honestly, I know you like your equity plays, dude. This might be solid to just hold into earnings. You know?
No.
Not through earnings,
Maybe.
not through earnings, into earnings.
It's expensive. It's an expensive stock. It's $240.
Okay. You're
So if
playing
I buy
with more size.
yeah, I know. If I buy 100 shares, it's 25K.
It's light work to you, right?
I mean, no, that's a pretty sizable position to just lock up 25K on.
I'm joking.
I already locked up some today. Anyway, no, I think it could be a good trade for tomorrow though.
Anyways, I'll have my eyes on it. Like I said, if you get some strength over this 243 where it's at right now, it looks great. And this feels like if you are picking up equity just to hold it for a couple days, you know, if I want to highlight it, basically you're willing to risk, you know, let's say you caught it under 240, you're risking $10 to make potentially, you know, $45. It's a 4-to-1 risk reward trade. It's solid.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So just based purely off the technicals, it's a very, very clean risk to reward setup. So
All right, so we're watching it tomorrow.
definitely, it'll be up there.
You're
All
gonna
right.
send a plan play for it?
Yeah. After we get done with this training session, I'll send one more plan to play, and it will be this.
Hell yeah, cool.
All right. Damn, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect the turnout to be this good tonight, considering we hosted the session earlier. Got a lot more people that stepped in. Glad to see you guys taking advantage. Gibby, Tyreek, nice to see you guys stop in. You guys got anything you guys want to look at? Quick reminder as well, we do not have to look just at charts. You can ask general questions. You can ask about sizing or risk management or anything like that.
Wax, can you explain a point of control? You say that frequently, but I don't quite understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
this
this is a perfect example of that. So basically, what I use a lot is volume profile, and that's this pretty blue stuff on the side, right? So all this volume profile, all it does is it reorganizes volume by price instead of by time. In all honesty, I don't think volume by time is really all that helpful. I know some people trade with it a lot, and there are some strategies that can utilize volume by time, but in all honesty, if you're an intraday trader, volume by price is worth a lot more, right? It shows you where people have found value, where liquidity is sitting, and typically price will react off those points, right? So here we can see the most volume has been done between this range, right? And that's why I've got it highlighted. So between about 240 to 285, this is where the most volume is done. And this red line right here is the point in the middle of that where the most volume has been done. Okay, so this is the point of control. It's about 263. And you can see just recently, as we swept through the bottom of this entire range, where did we reject? Right? Where did we fail the reversal? Right? Right off that point of control. They threw a few wicks over it, but failed to close anything daily over it. Right? And so the point of control, typically in a range, when we first broke down here, you wouldn't have this level developed yet because it takes time for it to establish itself. But initially they sold right at 265, got a quick bounce off of it, and then didn't really respect it for a couple days. But as time went on, you can see here's a bounce. We defended it for a couple days here before breaking through. It's more just where the most volume has been done in a range. And I think a better example would be even today on SPY's chart, right? Today, the point of control got a ton of attention. Let me switch it because when I look at ES intraday, I typically change it to an intraday session. So you guys can't see this pop-up window, but I'm just editing the settings on the volume profile. So you can see today's point of control was right here at 78, right? So you can see overnight, we bounced this level 1, 2, 3, failed under it, retested here, bounced it again, right? And then reclaimed it and held over it for a long time. And then this, where's the open? The open was right about here. And when we sold, where was the first place we held and bounced from? Right on that point of control. Okay. So if you guys were in voice chat today, you might have heard me mention and say trades off of the point of control have been really accurate today. And guess what? We took a trade off of today. That short that we caught that made 120% midday, that was right here. We fell all the way back down to the bottom of the range. And there's a few reasons why we liked this. So going over today's play, we had a few bounces down in this area, right? So I'm going to highlight this spot. I'm going to highlight this spot right about here, right? And so we had all these pivots, okay? So one thing to note is we had a very established shelf today, okay? So I would say it was from about here to here, right? So this is where the most volume was done today, including pre-market, right? So all the action from pre-market and before open and even intraday, this is where the most volume was done. You can see it very defined, right? So the first time after we failed a reversal attempt, that's where we found buyers and bounced off the point of control. Typically, the best place to take entries will be when we dip out of that value range, okay? Typically, they want to stay where price is liquid. Price outsearches liquidity, okay? So now, that's what we've seen. We dip out of the range and they save it. We work out of the range and they reject it, right? They want to stay where liquidity is. So we bounce under and we saved it, okay? Coming into today, you can see the point of control got a ton of respect. They couldn't really close anything under. They only closed this guy under, but it was immediately bought back, right? Same thing here. We dip under the range very quickly and it gets bought back. This is telling you, okay, bulls are still in control despite a fake breakout and a rejection all the way back into the range. If we can't even get under the point of control, they're likely going to bounce this, right? And I think Hoosier caught this play in this bounce, and it worked out really nicely. But here's why we like shorts. We broke back under it, and we couldn't get back over that point of control. And so we entered our shorts, I think, right about here. Let me look at my channel to see where we actually entered. So we entered at 831. So yeah, right here on this 830 candle. Right as soon as this bounced and tested that point of control, I had seen two candles reject and fail to get back over, and we took our entry. Granted, they tried to stop us out. They tried to fake us out once, but they didn't close anything above it, so we stayed in. This one again, we got a trim off here, but they made us sit through it again. Still could not get over that point of control. So what this was doing was this was shifting value to the bottom of the range, right? So when you see a tight range and you see value start to accumulate at the bottom of the range, it gives a lot more conviction that a follow through is coming. For example, this tested the bottom of the range, but it didn't build much value here, right? You could argue that this, 15 to 20 minute period did, but it was a fake breakdown. And same here. Built a little bit of value, but again, the same spot, we failed to break the lows, and they saved it, right? But then when we get back here, this is a lot of value being built under the lows. And we've got a few things that made us feel convicted in a continuation lower. We had now not one, but two failed reversal attempts, and they were building a real ceiling here at that point of control. So sure enough, all we had to do was be patient, and this was an odd setup in terms of risk to reward, because bigger picture, you're entering shorts at the bottom of the range, right? So in theory, it's not great risk to reward, right? Because you're entering shorts at support, and so typically this thing could have bounced real high. And without breaking this 4,200 level, we wouldn't technically be wrong yet, since it would still be in its larger range. But we decided to use the point of control as our risk. So we were really risking only a couple of points to make at least, if we entered here at 77, we were risking, maybe 5 points, a break over 80. So we probably would have stopped out around here if it got there. So we were maybe risking 8 points for 5 points to make. We were looking for 70. So about 7 to 5 risk to reward, and we got the follow through. So it was a much greater return than what we were expecting. But yeah, that's all it was, right? So here we were dancing above the point of control. This was showing you that buyers were still very much in control here, and we ended up seeing a bounce from it. Here, just 30 minutes later, we see they're holding value under the point of control. Right, leading us for a more confident bearish bet, right? So this is honestly two great examples of volume profile and the point of control being utilized intraday, and how we trade off of them. Does that make sense?
I have a question based off of this.
Yeah.
Wait, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, just fine.
So the point of control is based off of volume, correct?
Yes.
Now, wouldn't that point of control change?
Wouldn't that point of control change? You kind of cut out there at the end, but I think I heard you. You said, can the point of control change?
One second. Wait. Okay. Sorry. Yes. I asked. So, wouldn't the point of control change today?
Yes. And that's a great question. So this is a good situation because we had spent most of the time here in this same spot overnight, that even though this was early in the day, right, when we took our short, we were only 2 hours into the session, but we had a lot of previous action from the session to establish that point of control. However, let's say later in the day, you can see there's another big shelf down here, right? There's a big shelf all the way down at 60 to 55, and you can see the dips under that range, right? Dips under 55, and we established volume. The one dip under got saved, and again, this one here got saved after hours. So
if
we had spent more time down here,
there's a
good chance that this 58 level could have become
the new
the new point of control
for the
for the session.
Had we
Had we spent more time down here and more action, it 100% can change. I think yesterday.
What's up?
What's up?
Okay. So I guess I'm thinking about it a little wrong. The point of control is like the singular price where the most volume is. It's not like
where
it's
the
not-
most volume has been done
for that session.
Yes.
Right, exactly. It's not like the average area of like, you know. So because kind of I guess how I was thinking about it is it would be in like on the average. So like for example, if price were to move below the point of control would kind of shift lower. But I guess that's not the case because it's just the singular price where the most volume has been spent.
That's what
the shelves are used for,
right?
right? And so
this
this is you would tell that you could say, okay, this area from 75 up to about 85 is where the most volume took place throughout the day, right? This was the biggest shelf, and this was the fair value range that was established during the session. However, this specific point, this specific level, 78, is where the most volume was done.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Okay, yeah.
So sometimes it's not going to be super useful. Like I'll be honest, like on this day, for example, right? Like when we didn't spend much time in one area. Coming into the day, this shelf right here, this tiny little guy, this was all before the open. And this first few minutes, right? These first few minutes when off the open, when we started selling, this probably wasn't helpful at all. Because your point of control would have been like, let me just draw it out real quick. Your point of control was probably right about here, right? And granted, looking at it, you could have made a play off this, right? You could hypothetically, figure out something there. You could have been like, okay, well, we gap down, buyers are underwater, point of control is right here, and we're breaking under a support trend, right? You could have found a reason to play this, but it probably wouldn't have been helpful for the rest of the day, right? Because then your point of control shifted down. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to zoom out. Where were we? Right here. Okay. So then your point of control would have shifted down to about here, right? And then you would have been thinking, some days it's not super confident. Some days it's just not giving you quality reads. Like on trending days, if the market's just going up all day or down all day, the point of control it's not going to show up, or it's going to be where the pre-market action took place, and you're not going to be able to make trades off of it, right? So when you come into the day and you've had a range established, and you're deciding whether you're going to break in, upwards or outwards out of that range, the point of control will be useful. A good example is coming back to this day, right? I think this was Monday's session. Yeah, Monday. Monday it gave some maybe not a super clean read, but these shelves, right? Like so moving between these when you move. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to formulate my thoughts here. Remember earlier how we said price goes out and searches for liquidity, right? So moving away from the idea of the shelves, it's very clear that we have a gap here, right? There's a liquidity gap, and that's from, it's from 50 to about 57 here. So it's only about, an 8 point or so range. But, when we exit a shelf, it goes immediately to the next shelf or to a point of interest. So here you can see we've quickly moved through it. Initially, though, after they had built some value here, right, we rejected once we exited the range. And then once again, check this out. We fall below that shelf, and that's where buyers are trying to save it to stay within that liquidity area. But once we move higher, it's a quick move into the next liquidity zone. And you can see again, right, this is the volume gap. Dips into that volume gap, they get bought, right? We fake out. Once we fall back into that liquidity range, it's a quick move to the next shelf, right? And same thing here. Where do they find buyers? Right as soon as they dip under that shelf. Okay, so volume profile can be used a lot of different ways. In fact, when I first started trading using volume profile, I would only look for gaps. I would try to only trade the liquidity gaps and try to catch, these moves, right? Like this guy or this guy. But those are hard to predict because you're going to get faked out a lot, right? Whereas instead, it's better to just risk against the bottom of the tapers, right? So for example, like this area, right? This is a taper, right? This is where volume tapers off, right? And you're exiting the liquidity shelf. So this is a good spot to risk longs against, right? And vice versa, like right about here, this is the top of this volume shelf taper, and this is the bottom of this taper, right? So when price exits these liquidity zones, that's where they're going to try and save it. That's where buyers are going to be the most present. And same with up here, right? This is the top of the taper, and you can see, where did we really hit our head a few times before breaking out, right? You could have played shorts here 1, 2, twice before it actually built the strength to break out. And then, of course, you can see the point of control on the day. It got 1, 2 clean bounce reactions, right? Before they started holding value under it. This is a tricky situation because they did kind of fake you out before breaking it down, but there were other hints here, right? We kept making lower highs, and then we also failed to clear the liquidity shelf again. So there are hints along the way that could have told you, but if you were trading just off the point of control here, you might have gotten stopped out before the breakdown. But there's a lot. The possibilities with volume profile are endless. There are lots of different ways to trade it, but I would be lying if I said that I could trade without it. Now that I've built kind of my base understanding and my kind of strategies around it, I don't think I could trade without it. Price action can only take you so far. This kind of structural importance of intraday price action with volume is very important to how I trade. And like the example we just went over, this is the sole reason why we caught those shorts today. They did 120%. So I know it's a lot. We've basically just covered like 3 different strategies on how to play volume profile, but the main thing is, there's going to be days where it works really well. Like this day, you could have taken plays, short-term plays. They're only going to be 10 or 15-minute long plays, of course. But this day was very solid for volume profile. You could have taken a good amount of trades, all within good risk to reward throughout the day. On the other hand, this session, there really wasn't much opportunity to play volume profile. I mean, given we did catch this short, I remember playing this. We had this taper down here. We had the bottom of this taper that led into a gap. We bounced it initially, made a lower high, fell right into it, and failed to get a reversal effort. So a short was confident here on a continuation move. So, maybe not the point of control was important, but the shells that we had built were important, right? All right, did I lose anyone along the way?
No, it's good stuff, man. It's a fantastic tool, and it's a really useful data set because volume is kind of the lead driver in the market. So.
Yeah, and again, if you guys want me to touch on any of that stuff again, I know we kind of barreled through it, but again, the main thing is it's a great way to find good risk to reward setups intraday. But some days it's going to be more useful than others. And that's with every indicator, right? Sometimes RSI is going to nail a bottom to the T. Sometimes, your moving averages are going to give you a super killer entry or something, but not everything's going to be perfect 100% of the time. But I will say, if you are choosing to use indicators, please use volume-based indicators, right? So whether that's an exponential moving average, or that's volume profile, or that's order flow. Something that bases its data off of volume will help you so much more. They're going to be so much more accurate. So if we are looking coming into tomorrow, the next session has already started. We can see, where's the looking at a 1 minute. Where has the point of control set itself now? Right. So it looks like that opening print high. A little bit of action done here. Again, we're 20 minutes in, so it's not going to be much value yet. But overnight, if we stay around this area, we're going to build out a lot of volume, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be able to give us some quality trades. Oh, also, the previous day's point of control typically gets respected the previous day or the next day. So this area right here, this 78 level, coming into tomorrow, it will be respected. Whether we reject it only once and then fly right through it or not, it's going to get some respect, right? Just like if we were to go up and fill this gap tomorrow, this 4211 spot from Wednesday's point of control is going to be respected, right? Probably for a few reasons, because it looks like that's also where our price gap is. Yeah, so it's going to be respected for a few reasons if we get back up there. But yeah, that is volume profile in a rushed nutshell. But yeah, I think we covered enough amount on it. Again, if you guys didn't get the full gist of it, feel free intraday. You can ask me about it, and I'll be more than happy to dive more into it. But I don't want to spend the whole session on just this. We've got 25 minutes left. So if anyone has anything else, anything they want to look at, just shout it out. Again, we've had more people show up. What's up?
Boeing.
Boeing. You want to look at Boeing?
Sure.
All right, what's Boeing up to? Looks pretty rough at the moment. That earnings is hard to look at. Let's see. So the last major pivot and kind of inflection zones down here at about 170. You've exited the range here and you failed to retest. It feels pretty tough. It feels like bears are still very much in control, especially after today. They, failed the bounce attempt. Yeah, market's sold at the end of the day too, so that makes sense. Is there something specific?
Weird how
Is
it
there
was
something?
day.
What?
I just thought it was weird how it was running all day.
Maybe it was something in the sector. What would this thing fall under? Industrials, so XLI. XLI wasn't really running all day, but the end of day chart looks similar.
Well, yeah, everything looks like that at
Yeah.
the end of the. Okay, so you don't think anything there?
I always look at it as aerospace and defense.
Oh, it's in the industrials. It's number 8 in the industrials ETF. I got it up right now. It's 3.5% of XLI. I would honestly say it just feels like bears are still in control. I mean, I don't see a setup here. I wouldn't chase shorts. If anything, I would just kind of wait until this 170 area gets a little bit closer to maybe try longs. Maybe a dip under 170 would be a really good deal, to put some risk on and maybe expect to pop back into this high 180s area. Eventually, I'm sure it'll get back into this range, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. If anything, like I said, it feels like bears are still in control. We're not seeing any constructive action yet, and I think it's got room lower into 170 still. But as I was saying, I don't think I would chase shorts. I think I would just let it run its course and maybe set some alerts. And if you get an alert that it's under 171 or something, then that's when I'd be like, okay, time to try some longs for some swings.
Okay.
Are you positioned in it?
No, I just noticed it earlier that it was just running all day.
Yeah, they gave a good chunk of it back in that last bit.
Yeah. No, futures reopened. Can we check them?
Yeah, we just were.
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
They're up. Yeah, we
Okay.
gapped up about 15 points.
All right. Who else reported tonight? Intel, Chipotle. What did EMPH do?
Intel's up nicely.
Enphase
I haven't
got
looked at their.
destroyed.
Yeah, Enphase. My Enphase equities in the dumps right now. Um,
Hey, what's it at right now?
Yeah.
so they gapped down from 115 off of sympathy from another energy name, which was annoying. And then they dumped again today. They're right about here.
You don't want to show me?
I don't want to look at it myself. My equity's getting thrown in the garbage right now.
Golly.
But I'll be buying this. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think Enphase is going anywhere. I think Enphase will be right back around 150 this time next year. So, shit, 75 up to 150, that's 100% equity trade. I'll be buying more over the next couple of days. I think it's at a deep discount right now.
I can agree with that. I think I'll
Europe
get
is
some.
really softening with demand, and I didn't think it would hit Enphase as much, but they guided for Q4.
Yeah, their guidance is awful.
50%. 50% of what the street was estimating.
Yeah, their guidance is trash. They basically said they're expecting to make half as much next quarter. So that's definitely a tough pill to swallow. But like I said, I like this company long term. They're strong, bigger picture. They're very profitable, and I think energy is going to remain strong. So, if they want to be depressed for a little bit, I'll buy the dip. It's a long term play. Like I said, just to reiterate, I'm 23. I've got time. So, I'll be buying it down here. I think it's at a deep discount. Again, that's a long-term play, though. That is not, this will not be green for a couple months at the minimum. So, I started buying it first right here at 120 just because it made sense from a technical perspective. And since I started buying it, it has just gotten beat to hell with news, right? So the first energy company that reported last week tanked them, right? They got some bad sympathy from it, and then their own earnings hurt them as well. But like I said, I got time, so I'm still buying. I have no doubt in my mind that a year from now, year and a half from now, this thing should be right back in this 150 area.
Sounds good. What about Chipotle?
Chipotle up to.
They took off, but then they're pretty much flat. Well, they're up like $30 now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't have anything to say unless I look at their earnings. I didn't see the report.
That's really what all I was thinking of.
But they're pretty much still in their range. I mean, dips into this 1800 level have been getting bought, and they're right about here right now. They're at 30. Oh, they're way higher. They're at like 60 something. They're at the top of their range.
Check it again.
40.
Yeah.
Why is okay? I was looking at the bid apps. They're not even within their spread right now. The liquidity on this is trash.
I think it just changed. I'm not gonna lie, the price just changed while we're talking.
Yeah, their spread right now is this thing should pop back up to 55 here. The bid is 55. I don't know how they're at 40.
You think there could be a trade there tomorrow?
Well, I don't like to trade this thing. The option liquidity is not good.
Let's see what weeklies.
These are weeklies. Look.
Please, what the fuck am I looking at?
Well, I mean, these are all earnings prices, so I mean, they'll be a lot cheaper tomorrow, but still, look at the,
What was the price didn't move? $110, dude. This could be like a good ass trade tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, take it then. Take it. I don't like to trade Chipotle. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see pre-market.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking if the expected move was $110 and it just did $30, like there's gonna be premium crush out the ass on the open. We could probably steal something.
Yeah, for sure. Keep an eye on it. I'll personally I'm not gonna be looking at it. I don't trade Chipotle. It doesn't have good enough option volume for me.
Yeah, I've rarely traded it. I'm just looking at what just had earnings really. Anything.
I got you. I mean, shit, maybe you can short Enphase tomorrow a little bit lower.
No.
Yeah, that thing is so depressed right now. God, look at that. This is the news from another company reporting earnings. They got sympathy, and then their own earnings tanked them. Like they're just getting railed with bad news right now.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
But
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
went on
buying
calls for earnings.
first
I,
thing
I
tomorrow
didn't
morning.
panic.
Huh?
I figured they had already taken a significant amount of the hit they would take, off of Solar Edge, and that a lot of the downside was priced in already. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
Can we look at Microsoft and Apple?
Sure. So Apple is here
Microsoft
for
more for short term. Well, I'm really in a macro mindset right now because like the move that I had been building plays around basically happened in the last few days. So I'm kind of clean sheet right now, and I'm just looking at a bigger picture. But I'm kind of fascinated that Microsoft gave back, and it was even more interesting about an hour and a half ago before the market opened and gapped up a little. Because they were at 327. They actually went red since that banger report a couple days ago. Now they're back at basically the point of control pre all the lead up into earnings.
they're
And
up really nice
that's
after
not
hours. Wow.
that's not a great omen to me to give back everything off of an amazing report. I mean, that kind of screams just like indiscriminate liquidation. So this is a real interesting area for me and coming into zero DTE when we're back at the price we were before we
Oh,
reported.
and they raised their dividend.
Good point. Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be a good trade.
Wow, killer earnings and they raised their dividend. Yeah, you're right. That's really weird that they've given it back already. So I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
biggest
not
thing for me,
individually. It's not around the individual report or the quality of the company. I mean, this is like that's why I'm looking at the biggest of the big boys with Microsoft and Apple because like that's where you see liquidation, right? Like it's just indiscriminate, like early signs. And Apple has been doing that for a couple of weeks, and that's kind of been keeping me in the short side. And that's why I'm interested to look at them because Buffett always says, you buy it 30 or you sell it 30 times on Apple and you buy it 20 times, and they're right around 30 right now, in a very dangerous environment going into earnings. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'm starting to really focus on big caps and banks, like to just watch slow signals, of what's coming, and try and get ahead of it, which I know is not y'all's style.
well, I mean, the biggest thing for me is just technicals here. There's not much of a setup. They were showing relative strength before the earnings. Yeah, I mean, against the market weakness.
Well,
So
let me be clear. For Microsoft, I'm literally talking about tomorrow and next week. I'm talking about short term because I'm so fascinated that they just gave up everything from the earnings. So, a daily chart probably isn't what we want to look at for this one.
well, they just fell back into their range. So, and honestly, dips under have been bought. So I don't really have anything confident short term to give you here. Again, I feel like the main spot that I've been focused on is this 242 area. It's been a major inflection point. It was big resistance before the breakout. It was support while we were above, and it's been the pivot zone since. And so, as soon as we gapped up over it, they sold it off, and it was just an immediate reaction from there. So, from here, I don't really have anything as a buy until you get back into this area, this 310 to 312 area. So as for short term, I don't really know what the hell Microsoft's going to do. It's not really confident where it's at. Today was definitely a great day to play it, just continuing that rejection from 42. But after this move, I don't really have a confident theory for you.
Copy that.
You want to check out Apple too? Apple's kind of on the same page. I mean, it feels like it's in the middle of nowhere here. Still unable to solidify anything over 180, and we have definitely felt the market weakness as we've tapered lower. Now under its 200 moving average, so that's pretty rough sign of weakness. And then on top of that, I also don't want to touch it because they've got earnings next week as well. So I feel like it's hands off until then. You might be able to get some lottos off, but I don't know where you'd go. It feels like you got your kind of capitulation move today. And I don't really think market's going to be red tomorrow. I kind of feel like we're going to get a little sympathy day tomorrow. So Apple doesn't really feel like a great name to long. Where it's at. There's nothing really here. It's under its value area from the last couple months, and on top of that, it's kind of flashing every bearish thing it can right now. It's under the moving average. It's under the most recent pivot low. It's feeling the weakness of the last few earnings. So Apple and Microsoft.
and
Go ahead.
I mean that's why I'm bringing these up, right? I'm not necessarily looking for a play. I mean, Microsoft, I'm interested if there is a play just because of where it's at and having come back below where it reported. But really, I'm looking at these because they're the biggest of the big caps, and I'm just trying to get a general sense of what are the big boys telling us? Like, what is the biggest money telling us at this extremely pivotal point in the market? Yeah, everybody and their mom should be looking for and expecting some kind of sympathy day, some kind of bounce, off this key level, and not just to completely just easily crash through it, which would be nuts and terrifying. But beyond that, beyond that short-term bounce, like, are we getting signals from the big money? Are they, liquidating? Are they going to the sidelines? And that chart has been telling me that they have been for a while, but I'm curious, is it looking like continuation? Or
Apple
does it start
does. Apple feels weak as hell.
It does, right?
And I've said many times before, the market doesn't fall unless Microsoft and Apple are falling. So
Yeah, and every time we're ever in a period like this, and there's so many times in my life, in 10 years of trading, where we feel like we're on the edge of a cliff. And earnings season, we're not doing great. We get a good report here by a big boy and it gives it all up. And then we get a bad report by another smaller big boy and everybody gets frantic and everything. And then at the end, here comes Apple and they save the day. Like, they have saved this market so many times in the past decade, it's ridiculous. So I got my eyes on them going into earnings at this really scary juncture in the market.
yeah, I think if I personally don't think Apple is going to continue much lower into earnings, but come next week after that earnings, I think Apple is going to be a big driver of market sentiment over the next couple weeks.
Oh, I asked you in chat. I don't know if you responded, but so I've been starting to pay a lot of attention to banks again as well. Not to play them, but just kind of looking for signals because I think we're early on the plays, but you start to see some early signs of setting up. And we've got that emergency bailout fund that ends in March. We still have $109 billion gap in the mark to market that the banks have to close before that fund runs out. And I'm just wondering, like, do you understand it enough to know, like, when this $109 billion like goes poof, is that basically like $109 billion of
In tightening?
quantitative tightening? Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense, but in the grand scheme of things, $109 billion is a drop in the bucket. So I don't think it would have much effect. It may have an effect on your banking your banking names, but in terms of the Fed's balance sheet, it is a drop in the bucket. It won't affect a thing, most likely.
I do and I don't disagree because they tend to, tighten in this tightening cycle like, 18, 19, 20 billion a week, which, overall it's not a lot, but the market pays attention to it, as the Fed balance sheet adjusts. So that would be a large spike in tightening. I don't think the market would ignore it.
What's the Fed's balance sheet sitting at right now? 9 trillion?
9 trillion. Yeah.
Maybe.
Let me,
I don't
let me-
know. I'll look
send
into
you
it.
over.
Yeah, I'll look into
Yeah,
it more.
I'll send
But
over something from Zero Hedge that is good. You know, they do the weekly tracking of the money market inflows and shit like that. So
okay, yeah, send it over.
check some-
But on that note,
No.
hey man, these games are about to start. Why do you think I hosted the session earlier tonight?
Okay, you're right. Are we gonna watch it on Streamy?
I am, yeah.
Is your girl there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No worries.
But I'm gonna get one more plan to play out on SMCI, and I'll have that outlook out for you guys in the next 30 minutes. And shout out to you guys for showing up again. I love to see these good turnouts, and I know the session was earlier than anticipated tonight, and I'm happy that we still got the turnout that we did. If you had to step away for a minute, or you've missed some of the previous sessions, these are all recorded and they are all posted on our YouTube page. So tonight's session, if you want to review it later and get a more clear description of how we went over volume profile and all that good stuff, it'll be posted on our Instagram or on our YouTube page in the next couple of days. And that YouTube page is linked in the social media channel. So yeah, you guys can
There's
review
a
this at your
video on there
leisure.
already about volume profile too on the YouTube. If you guys want to check out a little bit more about what he was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and let's kill Lotto Friday and wrap this week up on a high note. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. All right, I'm heading out of here, guys. You guys have a good one. Later, guys.
Oh, why are you so fucking cold right now?
Hey, wait. Make your play. You did? You didn't show me?
I'm doing
Purple? Oh, the purple page. Got it. You took Kevin Durant. Okay, that's a good bet. If Devin Booker was playing, I'd say no.
Yeah.
But because Devin Booker's not playing, all the pressure's going to be on Kevin Durant to score.
Yeah. How do you feel about the other guy?
Good.
I went less on him,
I took Austin Reeves as well.
but I went less on points.
You went under. Okay, well that
Because-
goes against your 6 like that. Because we want him to get at least 2 3-pointers. So you're gonna be conflicted.
No.
It's okay, cause
It's okay. I want my 6 leg to go through.
so you're gonna be rooting for him for 3-pointers. He can get 2 3-pointers.
Yeah,
but
he's
still
not-
not get
Mhm.
15.
Oh, it's 15.
Yeah, if he scores 15, or if he scores 15, you lose.
Good. Then we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Well, I'm gonna let you know. I took Austin Reeves for over on points in another bet,
Okay.
so I'm gonna be rooting for him. Make another pick.
I'm not rooting for
So you've bet 10, 20. Get to your 25. Put one more on.
my 20.
Yeah, put one more
Well, I
on.
was gonna ask you to tell me.
Bets? Yeah, we're making bets. I told you today. I'm getting it. Oh. Hey, you don't have to, and we'll show you our winnings after.
I'll play bet.
Well, you gotta hurry because the game starts in like
Yeah.
10 minutes. Well, here.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what to pick for my other run.
Okay, so what do you've got? You've You want me to just copy one from my?
Something that you're
Starts in
confident
35
in.
minutes. How long did you say?
I was just trying to get you motivated. Okay, so
Trunks.
look
you.
through my picks and just let me know which one you want to copy. Because I'm confident in all of them.
You're
but I-
confident in all of them.
Actually,
Trunks. You little. I was like falling.
okay,
asleep.
this one's confident. There's 3 leg, but I also have
Do the 3.
the 3.
Do it. Put down 5 though.
Okay. Damian Lillard for 3-pointers attempted. They lowered the line.
Ooh.
Well, it's okay. It doesn't even matter because we still
Yeah.
both need 11.
He needs to fucking.
But if he only gets 10, then
he,
you
He
tie.
needs to make 10 points.
No, attempted.
Oh.
3-pointers attempted. So if he
Very
shoots,
nice.
so if he just shoots 3 points,
Here.
Giannis for rebounds. They upped it. So now they
Fuck.
upped it. Rebounds and then Tyrese Maxey for assists. Assists. Boom, that's the same. So these are all in the first game. $5?
I don't know why they automatically put 20 in for you. I hate that because I changed some stuff around.
And you
And
placed it.
yeah, and then I was like, fuck, why is my
Did
account
you,
at a
did you cancel it?
yeah, I was like, why is my account at $11? And then I checked, I was like, oh, I put 20 down on a play.
Alright, let me finish this up real quick.
Pretty confident as tonight?
No. No, I think I'm gonna lose every play I take.
You put her up?
Yeah. She did. Where's your phone, fool? Okay, just here. Come in here. Here, my phone is on the bed. Just look through the pics and copy whatever ones you want.
Damian Lillard.
That's a 6 leg. This is a 6 leg bet.
Well, I can still pick him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, do you want to copy this 6 leg or do you want to copy some smaller ones? These ones are a lot more likely to hit because they're only 2 legs. But this is my lotto for tonight, that 6 leg.
And you gonna get that one?
No, I don't. At all. It's a 6 leg.
Shut up, we're gonna get it.
My
Yes.
hit rate for 6 legs is probably like
I don't want to know that. Shut up.
it's probably like 100%.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This Damian Lillard and LeBron James. You think that's gonna hit?
I wouldn't bet it if I didn't, Carter.
Sorry, we're playing with the promo money.
Yeah, so throw a little extra dollars on it, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Your Damian Lillard 3-point attempted says 10.5, but this one says 10.
Yeah, they lowered it, so that's good for you.
It says I have a free 3-pick entry.
What? Hang on. Hold up. Oh, they did a giveaway today.
Yeah.
They did a giveaway. They gave 30 people a free pick for a $3,000 play.
Jeez.
No, I'm
It's a
waiting
4
for
leg though.
Oh God.
place entry.
You have a free play?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, throw it down. Damn.
Wait, hold on, I got one more.
Cool, it's my phone.
I know, but I got more money to put down now that they gave me a free one.
If I got a free play for 3K, hey, do you remember like
Yeah.
last year?
Yeah.
I kept trying to get.
Yeah. It wasn't last year. It was earlier this year.
What was it for? Was it 50K?
No,
A
it was the
million?
1 million one.
Oh yeah.
It was like the million, and then if you got like 5 out of your 6, you got like
80K.
yeah, something like that. You were fucking checking your email like a madman. Yeah.
Because
And then the
if I
days,
had the
and then
opportunity,
I remember you did get a 6 like that day. You got all 6 of them, and you're like, I fucking hate my life. I can't believe I didn't get chosen. But I don't think you would have picked those same picks if you won.
oh, because I would have.
You
I would
would've-
have overthought it.
Yeah.
I would have been one of those idiots that did all the science behind it and like
Yeah.
trucked everything.
Yeah.
I would have spent 3 hours picking my plays.
Just to lose.
You made
Just
another
to
one
lose.
too?
I made a bunch, Carter. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays for tonight. 5 plays for 2 games.
There's only 2 games out tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be easy to switch.
They're just back to back.
Suki, come here.
There's just one. It ends. The next one starts.
Suki, come here. Hi. Yeah. So I was falling asleep, and I was actually like entering my deep sleep phase. And I started to smell something. And
I know you got up out of nowhere and started spraying.
yeah. I was so angry. I was so angry. I was a lot. Trunks.
The truck's fart
He farted.
on you.
No, he didn't fart on me. He was like right there, and his butthole was like facing the exact entry point of my pillow.
Oh
And it
no!
was like, it was quite terrible.
It sounds like it, babe.
Yeah, now it's parked next to me. Nothing happened. That's the one thing I hate about animals. They fart with no shame.
No shame.
No shame at all. I've got 2 butts pointed in my direction.